on journey begins here. I like this shop over here, so with my car and with the paperwork and
with a singular, you know, both ways. Sometimes they try, but
it's just dramatic, so I have to turn this way. You have to go like so.
Like we might get you some places.
Shanae, load up time. Load up. I will take the stragglers close in my box.
I nearly do it for years.
There you go. I win Grammy.
Until the producer get tired of them.
You see it. And the two of them said, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that could have killed. And it all, they did interviews with them. And it was their decline and it's gone down. What am I expect? One forever. What's the plan? I remember I said the backup still have to involve. Them have to involve and the manager have to involve. How much you want bet? I said them said to them, you ready for this stuff? So we're always ready for this, you know. But when it hit them, but what cost first? I don't know.
They pay them, you know?
No man, them they don't get a fine because them never have to look. So them did have the talent, and then one did have to look. Well, that was a stupid idea. Yeah, I think it's good for him because he graduated as a man. He's really talented and he volunteer.
This is Castleton God.
Oh, okay. And I have to do a stand up and okay. That's what you said.
I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop here, so.
Yeah, that's my head away down.
Yeah.
It's stuck in here. Mommy, I have to use my camera and take pictures of here. Yeah, while I do the interview. Can't wait for yours to up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Maia Chung Television. I'm standing in the lovely Castleton Gardens in the wonderful Jamaica. Beside me is a gentleman who is going to give us his take on Castleton Gardens as well as the journey we're making to a particular place. Now, I'd like you to introduce yourself to our viewership. Your name, sir, is?
Yes, Maya. This rest of my name is Anthony. I don't know why Maya demoting me to Sir from Ras. But anyway.
Oh, my mistake. No, sir, round hair. It's Arthur. Arthur, we're standing in Castleton Gardens. I think Castleton Gardens in Jamaica, because we have viewership from all around the world, is one of the most visited places by tourists who come to the island. Is that correct?
It is one of the visited places by the tourists who seek to have a closer walk with nature.
Right.
The perhaps most visited spot in the island is Duns River Waterfalls, but Castleton Gardens has a special place in Jamaica's natural history. Mm-hmm. It is Jamaica's second oldest designated botanical gardens, the oldest being Bath in St. Thomas, and it therefore is located among the oldest two in the Western Hemisphere of planet Earth.
All right, I'm going to ask you this. What relationship does Castleton Gardens, Jamaica, have to Sun Ventures Tours and the offerings Sun Ventures Tours is going to debut in this particular show?
Well, on the corridor, as we head to the Buff Bay River Valley, where we'll be having the opening at Banga Ridge, Castleton is perhaps the most significant natural beauty spot as a botanical gardens that we will pass on the way. When we go up the Buff Bay River Valley, you'll be impressed by the scenic views of perhaps one of the most dramatic ridge to reef visuals you have on the island. But Castleton is a critical stop en route.
All right, Sun Ventures Tours, ladies and gentlemen, when you make Jamaica your place to stay and you choose to be the adventuring tourist, you're not just going to get the experience at Sun Ventures Tours, but you're going to be getting the view along the way, the outstanding and natural beauty of our island. So make sure you make this trip #1 on your adventure touring list around the globe.
Maya have to run with the camera now because the bus is leaving.
Okay, the bus is leaving us. We gotta go. Stay tuned. More to come on MCTV. Go on, because we can follow. Watch out, Andre.
They want to know about the top part. They want to know about the top part. Run us in it. If they want to run us in it, try. Most if you come back, you know, see the car.
Where would the people that come from?
Huh? Yeah, man, and teeth run up back, man. The thing with them release not in the year. Yeah. America kill off coconut tree them. Huh? Well, you know, them when they realize the benefits of the coconut oil and realize that Jamaica have it in abundance. So we get out of the market and must come poison them.
Magnificent cat. And how ironic that it worked out that boots would take, but I never had no intention of that. That was only the same thing with the yeah,
Flood out.
location?
No, this is
Sambo Hill?
the Maroon.
Sambo Hill. This location is called Sambo Hill?
No. You see the waterfall? A nice waterfall. come down through the hill, you see?
Hi, my name is Maia Chung of MCTV. Welcome to Hitting the Streets. Where am I hitting the streets this time? I am in Bangarage Square in Portland, no doubt, heading on my way up to Sun Ventures Tours Limited headquarters in Bangarage proper. Coming up on this episode of Hitting the Streets will be fashion show, oldies hits party, wilderness trek, one crocus bag of things. Stay tuned. Hitting the Streets is taking you on a different journey. It looked like you remember Tarzan? Yeah, so as I said earlier in the show, we are giving you a different style this time on Hitting the Streets on MCTV. And I am now about to embark on a blinging wilderness trek. Check the shoes from Francine. Look up. The cameraman will show you where we're going to start the trek. I think you can see a man in a white shirt with a blue umbrella. And I gather I'm going to have to walk in this weather for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. Half an hour. We're going to show you that walk up that hill. Can Maia Chung of Maia Chung TV manage to be glamorous in the wilderness? Bangarage, Portland, hitting the streets. We have a lots coming up on the show. Stay tuned.
Rolling. Rolling.
All right, rolling. Walk. And we just walk past the camera. Yeah. And just be careful. Lord Jesus. According to what I've heard, apparently people are. What technology? He's part of it. Me and my 2 chain spans. What has happened a while ago?
You know, natural spring water this.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, Hitting the Streets really going wild and wet this season and this episode. I'm here with Tasha, right? And Tasha is gonna educate us as to why there's water running out of a rock. I guess many people probably know why it's running out of a rock. I don't know. Tasha, why is this water running out of here, and why do you feel we can drink it?
Because it's actually clean. Although I'm a town girl, I'm a nature girl as well. What I know from a lot of persons are doing history class and all that, I know that it's very pure. The water is very pure than water that we normally drink at home. It's normally pure and clean. So you can actually drink water right because it's pure. Okay. So most companies like the Catherine Peak and those things, they come into catching breeze, right, to fetch the water.
All right, I'm gonna take Tasha's word for it because also other persons like Errol who took us up here have confirmed it, and I wouldn't have interviewed Tasha if she wasn't a credible source. I'd like persons watching, especially those from abroad, to know that the climate, I understand, is also typically like this, wet, and it's very cold. You see us in these fur jackets, and it's not because I am no bleeding Maia Chung that I'm dressed like this, in furs and leopards and so on. It's always wet and always chilly up here, don't it, Errol? All right, Errol is off cam. He's a part of the Sun Ventures team. We have more to come on Hitting the Streets. Stay tuned.
Okay.
People, that view is awesome. And I'm afraid of heights. I don't think that's why they hire a public relations facility, ma'am or sir. G-Shock. Oh. No, I don't want you to drop. I want to catch you to drop. Well, or for the visitor who don't want to wear shoes, I'm good to go. If you're barefoot, you're better off in it, you know that.
No. Wave, mommy, wave. Halfway there.
And I wave me one waving, but me can't do it on camera. Help me! I'm stuck. Dude, where's my road?
Rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must confess that if you are the cardiovascular type of tourist, this is the trek for you. Hitting the streets, as you saw prior to me reaching to Bangor Ridge itself, decided to hit the trek as opposed to the streets. It was a rough haul, but believe me, it's worth it. You're gonna see some more on the show. You're watching Hitting the Trek, has been renamed, and believe me, I hear all this hype about Sting this and Sting that. The one trek there alone. Sting can't touch it. Remember. Stay tuned.
Got the view, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Talent release forum.
Well, we have a fun and exciting day lined up for you. We're off to a late start. And I see that many of you are having breakfast already. So at least some things are in progress. I'm sure.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. I noticed some people eating and in the kitchen. What I'm about to say requires you to hold on the eating and open the ears a little. Somebody said I can do both. You know, I always start to eat with the ears, you know. Okay. Can I have your attention, everybody? Round the back, round the side, round the front, upstairs. Okay. First of all, let me extend again a very warm welcome on behalf of the company and the directors of the company that are here and the staff of the Wilderness Retreat. You know, it was not easy getting here. And easy things are not always good things. In fact, Jamaicans say, if you want good, your nose have to run. Everything you see around here was brought by, I don't like to say this, brought by labor. It is our capacity as people with a lot of African blood to do very difficult things. The young men in this community brought these light posts that you see here. These light posts can't bend and make corner around the viaduct, as you saw. They call the viaduct, that place where you hold your breath until you cross, it's called the viaduct. So I'm introducing you to the place. Just want to give you a little background to today. Our company is now 23 years old. And we brought nature and heritage tourism to the fore in this country. In 2010, we won the Ministry of Tourism Award for product development. We had nearly 20 different hiking, bird watching, caving, sightseeing tours in Jamaica. And we have taken thousands of persons on different experiences in Jamaica. Today, we have tried to reconnect with some of those people. I see some of the faces of persons here who have been on tours with us. We believe that the heritage of the country, whether it be natural or the man-made heritage, is where our salvation lies. And our most valuable asset in all of that are the people. People are the greatest multipliers of wealth. This wilderness retreat is owned partly by me, but more so by the community who live here. We've been working with them for 15 years. We don't have to lock up the place. We lock it up, but we don't have to lock it up. The only time we have lost something here, we lost a tilly lamp. And we knew exactly where to go for it. And they went to the man's house and asked the daughter if the man was there. And she said, no. Then he said to her, I need a little lamp to go looking at the fall cube at night. You have any? And she said to him, yes, my father, just carry one lamp, you know. He said, what color? Yellow. She said, yes, man, see it here. And that is how we got back the lamp. So the community is important for us. They benefit, we share in the benefits of it. Now, we are changing gear for 2014. We are introducing a new product and we're making this place the center of it. You may not have known, but the Buff Bay Valley that you came up through is now listed as the heritage corridor of the Blue Mountains because it has endless attractions from the Maroon Museum coming up in Charlestown to the Travel Hall, to the Honey Bar, all the way up many waterfalls up into the hills. Very spectacular valley. We have been doing tours there and we want to do more tours. There's an 18th century coffee plantation. I don't know how many of you know of this place. Massive walls, 60, 70 foot walls, all covered in forest now. With slave hospital, museum, all kind of things in the thing. So we're littered with heritage in the valley. So this will be the jump off point for those tours. But the thing that we're adding new now is that we're doing backpacking tours. So those of you who are not fit, get fit. It is 3 to 5 days of hiking. We have a tour called the Grand Ridge Crossing, and that's the Grand Ridge of the Blue Mountain behind you. It goes up to over 6,000 feet. We are doing a tour called the Grand Ridge Crossing, which is 3 days of walking, 2 nights. Over to Syncona from here and then down to Clydesdale for pickup. We're also doing the Blue Mountain Peak from here, which is 4 days of walking and 3 nights from here to the peak. We sleep on the top of the Grand Ridge, Morris's Gap, the first night. Second night, Whitfield Hall, and then peak and come down. 1 night is here and 2 nights on the route. We're also doing the Fishdown Falls, which is a 10-hour, easy 10-hour hike. Spectacular waterfalls, 200-foot drop into a emerald green pool between there, where the mist is. Right? This is a new product, and that's where we're heading. And this will be the base for it. This has a dormitory down there. So it's 2 sides, the Bamboo Grove, which is down there, which has a dormitory, it sleeps 20, and camping for about 15 to 20 persons. Tenting. This is the Grand Ridge view, which gives you the view, which has a cabin, and 10 sites for about another 30 persons. 1 cabin now, and the dormitory. But I'll tell you, the tents are more private if you have anything planned. Right? It comes with airbed and it's completely sealed. And we set up one there as a demonstration. We have them here, everything, airbeds, sponges, tents. So all you need to do is bring the blanket, whether live or on otherwise. So that's what this place is going to be. We want it to be a place where people can come and be at peace, be close to nature. Because inside of nature is a kind of connection, spiritual connection, that allows you to really put yourself in perspective. When you look at those mountains, you must put yourself in perspective because you are like to that. Right? So it's all of that. And I don't want to talk too long except to say that I think the country and the whole world is at a crossroads in a sense. We've been searching for justice and peace in every direction. Right? Now, one epoch we got rid of slavery, one other time we got rid of colonialism, but something is still lingering that we haven't addressed. I want this place to play a role in our awareness thinking because you can come here and get a clean head. I have a particular view on it. You may stone me for it, but when you go into the literary libations later on, you will see some of the issues coming up. Many of us believe that the present party politics system can solve the problem. Personally, this is not company policy, this is mine. I think that that is a big obstacle to democracy globally and in this country. And I will tell you that we don't need parties for a country to run. That is just my view. Maybe 20 years from now you'll hear a little as good, or you may say that boy, idiot boy was saying that thing. But we have to find a way that is not divisive. The founding fathers of the American Constitution were very clear on it. They said no party, they took it out of the Constitution because they thought it was going to be divisive. I'm saying this country should be number one. There's no reason why Jamaica should not be number one country in the whole world. We're hyping up there, but we just don't have the pocket and the thing for back up the hype. When we solve this problem, we're going to take off like a rocket. This place, to me, is my little retreat, and you can always come here to clear your brain, right? So, without chatting too much, I just want to say to you that I know it wasn't easy coming here. Look at your shoes. It have a lighter shade of black, right? And, you know, some people puff and puff over the thing, but good things don't come easy. That's the note I started on, and that's the note I'm ending on. Right? And feel free anytime you want somewhere for family to come. We have the two sides, you can split it. Future we'll have another 3 cabins up there with their own landscaping, own privacy, everything. You can come here and don't see anybody or hear anybody. That's the plan for Blue Mountain Wilderness Retreats. So I want you just to end by give yourself a little applause, not me, you know, yourself for having made it here. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to hand back over to the MC. Thank you all, and the day is just beginning. We're going to hype it up some more. All right, I'll hand over to your MC now.
We're like, Lord, I don't have time for waste and whatever it is. But I just really find it is a really refreshing experience. And so certainly looking forward to some of the activities and the events and the excursions that Sun Venture Tour and by extension the Blue Mountain Wilderness Retreat will be hosting in 2014. Now, just a slight change in our program. At this point, we should have been having Neville Parks to give us the overview of the Knowledge Center project.
I have been asked to say something about a part of the little known freedom making heritage that Jamaica's name internationally is associated with. I am one of those who believe that among the attributes that Jamaica can claim for itself is that we are among now proven to be the fastest athletes in the world. We have some unfortunate claimants on being the most homicidal too, paradox of paradoxes. But I think if we pause for a moment and reflect on our history, we will realize that we have claims to being among the most significant freedom makers on our planet. Robert points us to the Grand Ridge, and we know that beyond that, somewhere over the hills, we would probably reach to Moortown. Long walk there, you know. And Moortown, Accompong, Kumina, Paul Bogle, Sam Sharp. There are many names and historical events that allow us as Jamaicans to appreciate the claim we can justifiably make to this suggestion I'm making to being among our planet's most significant freedom makers. Now, one good thing them say about innovation and creativity, if you can out of virtually nothing fashion something, then it's something not going for you. Robert captions this part of the agenda, restoration. Up at UWI, where I've been facilitated to be doing this work, those that started that ball rolling in the Institute of Caribbean Studies, then Deputy Principal Joe Pereira and Dean then Barish Evans, Professor of Blessed Memory, the term they used was reclamation. That there were aspects of our story as a nation of people. There are sections of our narrative of formation, how we came to be, that have been taken away from us. Like, if you can imagine the awful picture of a little infant child being ripped away from a mother's breast, bawling and screaming. There's a way in which those of us in here and now Jamaica that can hook up to cable and hook up to internet and turn on TV and be entertained for hours and largely content imported, it's changing a bit now, have been separated from an essential part of the nourishment we need, have been separated from the full story about how we came to be. You see, now is what, 2014? So more than 200 and mash. That is for those of us who are not too exact with the maths and the calculation. Years ago, this wouldn't have been possible, because we'd have been working somewhere in some field for some Bakramasa and some plantation. And it was in the midst of that the name Bookman is projected into historic significance. Things are changing. I was just told by Rima a few minutes ago that in a gift to her husband over this Christmas, there is an article on Bookman Dotty. And 15 years ago, this was virtually nowhere to be seen. So then, who is this Bookman? And what is this strange name, Boak Kaiman? Bookman was an enslaved African whose first historical reference as part of the narrative of Jamaica's historical formation was that he was a participant in a historical event which was held not too far from here. Meaning to say, we drove through Junction, turned east at just before Nata Bay, Agualta Vale, and headed Buff Bay and come up here. But if we turned west and drove for about 25 minutes, we would be in Port Maria. Port Maria in 1760 had two major plantations in that vicinity. And the names of these plantations are still there on the ground and on the map. So that when you reach virtually into the town center of Port Maria and look not in the direction of Paji Beach, but still northeast, you'd be looking up to a residential community called Frontier Heights. The name is coming from the Frontier Plantation, which was the theater of operations, if you will, of the Taki Revolt. The Taki Revolt broke out on the Frontier and Trinity Plantations, just next door. Professor Barish Evans notes the Taki revolt, going back a little, you know, as being the point of beginning, the point of ethnogenesis of Jamaican religion. Meaning to say there are two indigenous religions noted in Jamaica, two and two alone. So nobody who name not get mentioned here don't feel jealous. Indigenous mean Mekiaso. Revival and Rastafari. And revival marks its point of beginning really out of the Taki revolt. More specifically, out of something called a Mayal ceremony, which was the way Taki initiated that very significant revolt. A revolt that at the end of the day had a program for Jamaica to be a republic and had economic, political and social programs for implementation. It wasn't just a St. Mary revolt. It spread as far as to St. Thomas in the east and Westmoreland and Hanover in the west. Bookman was there. His place there is not richly documented. There's not much on it. Anthropologist Chevans notes his presence at that point and notes Taki revolt as the point of ethnogenesis, the beginning point of Jamaican religion, because of the Mayal ceremony. Why wasn't the Maroons before noted as the starting point? Because remember, 1760s after the first set of Maroon Wars. So why aren't we calling the Coromantee culture, rituals, expression as that which marks the beginning point of Jamaican religion? Because that comes straight from Ghana, West Africa. So in the same way that we couldn't, though we build plenty churches here in Jamaica, Anglican, Roman Catholic, we can't call them Jamaican religion, because them come straight from Europe. And the more recent ones, Pentecostals, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witness, come straight from America. What was built here out of respect for the ancestral dead was revival. Why Mayal in 1760 was different from the ceremonies in the Maroon communities before was this. In the Ashanti communities, the Maroon communities, in the period right up to the Taki revolt, up to the first Maroon War, the population, which was not only Ashanti, but predominantly Ashanti, had to subordinate their peculiar ethnicities from Africa to the dominant Ashanti tradition. So the oathing ceremonies, the rites, and all of the rituals that manifest as the Coromantee, Ashanti, Maroon traditions were traditions of the Ashanti, which the many other, the number is indeterminate. We're not sure in Jamaica how many other African ethnicities there were and are. Haiti has done much better to reclaim that knowledge. They know and can identify 110 distinct African ethnicities in the gene pool of their country, so that the first thing they know as cultural diversity, as creolization, first of all, is Creole means for them firstly Ashanti mixing with Congo, mixing with Herero, mixing with Nago. In other words, the creolization of African ethnicities. And that is what I suppose the Maroons would have considered the the Mayal ceremony at Taki Revolt. That wasn't straight Ashanti. For the first time, the Ashanti secret oaths, the magical religious codes that guided the revolt previously became something else under Taki's generalship in 1760. Every ethnicity, if for example I'm looking at Ibu, I'm looking at Nago, I'm looking at Congo, and thank you, up to 110 or more or less. We know in Haiti is 110. Then everybody else had to be using the language of the Ashanti. In the case of Taki, Taki allows a new kind of magic to take place, where you can come with your Igbo chant, I could come with my Congo, you could dance your Herero, so that for the first time, traceable in Jamaica's history, the Taki Revolt presented a multi-ethnic religious, cultural, spiritual expression. May I make sense? For those who hear it. All right. 30 years, 31 years after the Taki Revolt, and I collapse in time to stay, to get off the stage not too long from now. Bookman has been invited to and arrives in Haiti as the most highly regarded high priest. You know, like how the mountains here we are talking about high fashion. He's the most highly regarded high priest of voodoo coming from Jamaica, bringing to Haitian history and Haitian reality a ceremony not substantially dissimilar from the Mayal ceremony that initiates Jamaican religion. I repeat, Bookman, on the date, remember the date, August 14th, 1791, 30 to 31 years after the Taki Revolt, initiates the 13-year war of Haitian independence with a ceremony. Some anthropologists of Africa and the African diaspora categorize this kind of ceremony as a blood and fire ceremony. And John M. Beatty, I think, probably first raises this kind of descriptor. All our we know about African, Jamaican religious practice, Kumina, Coromante, Rastafari, all, for the most part, have a fire lit that is lit and burning during the course of the activity. That's the fire. And what would be the blood? The sacrifice. And the sacrifice is valuable because, as Bernice from Port Moran tell me, blood touch blood. I say, what do you mean by that, Bernice? Whenever we hear the drum, we have to be where the drum is, because the blood calls us. I say, what do you mean? How you make a drum? You have to kill a goat. You have to kill a goat. That's the blood sacrifice. And that produces an instrument that in black people, same thing, is the medium through which we communicate with the realm of the ancestors. My Rasta brethren may not agree with me on this part, because Rasta seeks to separate itself from this tradition, and in the mindscape, in its worldview, does. But Rasta is common to that tradition too. Because even though consciously, I and Rastafari don't invoke the ancestral spirits, our worldview says we invoke one power, the power of the Most High, the Almighty Rastafari. And we not draw from the ancestral dead. But Bunny is right, we're playing the drum. So, we are a part of a blood and fire ritual. Plus, on top of that, the most significant ceremony within Rastafari, zooming ahead to come back, is the Nyabingi ceremony. And the name is really a codification of a very important ancestral spirit from Central Africa, the Congo, going right down to Angola. Queen Nzinga of the Congo, who ruled and reigned for 50 years. And let man who feels his uncle now under the modern day politics, we are talking about woman time now, understand that we're talking about 15th century Africa. So that when Rasta talk about the Nyabingi ceremony, Queen Nyabingi is a real, genuine, very powerful matriarch who ruled a significant part of Mother Africa for 50 years. Fidel Castro must have been taking lessons from her. So that when in August 14th, 1791, Bookman, in the dead of night, and I use the word advisedly because the way how a Maroon from Charleston or any other Maroon community certifies you are you as a true-blooded Maroon, the term they use is Maya is a dead Maroon. That means you are a proven, frank, true blue Maroon. The term they use is a dead Maroon. In the dead of night, Bookman, a giant, by the way, several of the recorded sources describe him as Three Finger Jack was described. Three Finger Jack, Jackman song, as a giant. Bookman, in some sources, is described as being 10 foot tall. Some people say this is just the kind of hyperbole of people's imagination. He was such a great man, him couldn't be mere your size. But the truth is that there are two ethnicities out of Africa that carry giants, the Maasai and the Mandinga. Bookman was, in my understanding, out of the latter pool of ethnicity. So in the dead of night, August 14th, 1791, reenacting an activity that had taken place several years before on that same date in different parts of Haiti, but often concentrating in the north, celebrating secretly a particular historical date in the war for the independence of the Congo. There were these celebrations in 18th century Haiti, always on the 14th of August. And it became a part of a very thoroughly rehearsed, grand design, not a petty affair, a very grand design to end slavery. On midnight, in a place called Bois Caiman, I explained to some others who could probably explain to the rest what the word means. It used to be translated from the French, B-O-I-S, Bois, C-A-I-M-A-N, and that Caiman meant alligator or crocodile. So the understanding was, using the French orthography, that this was a forest. Bois means wood or forest, filled with crocodile-infested swamps. Bois Caiman. A major, now provable, thoroughly researched presence of Islam, of Islamic tradition in Haitian voodoo. As that tradition has been found to be very, almost inextricably linked to the Coromantee Maroon worldview as well. The official greeting as Professor Sultana Afros, and that became very hotly debated on campus, UA. Enough discussion between Marine Professor Warner Lewis and Sister Sultana, Professor Afros, about this thing. But it is really, there's no doubt about it. that I know from my experience, studying for the first time to present my Abeng half-mate to Colonel Harris 1991, the same year I put on my covenant to Rastafari. I was greeted. Where is Salama? Is that your name? There's a sister here whose name is the feminine of the word salam. But the greeting that I got, as you know, is Assalamu alaikum. And it goes, so when I visited Akompom first, the Arabic phrase, peace be on, the Arabic phrase, thank you, peace be unto you. So Islam mix up in it too, and it's not too hard to understand why when we watch Roots and see that little first scene where they capture them on the boat is Islamic prayers, because much of West Africa was under Islamic, much of Dahomey, which is where the voodoo tradition comes from, was under Islamic colonization, some say rulership at the time. So anyway, the Imam, the Mayalist, the voodoo high priest, the revolutionary spiritualist, I say bookman, the records say this giant stands in the middle of a hurricane, turning over ships in the harbor, trees dropping, huge limbs flying, major hurricane. I am quoting, I'll tell you the name in a minute, mental, but I forget her name, who writes the Haitian Revolution from below. His locks flying in the wind. And equally gigantically framed Mambo, meaning priestess, stands beside him in this hurricane. I know me say so, you know. Her locks also flying in the wind. And Bookman's what is most known about him is this little prayer that he uses to invoke the 13-year war of Haitian national independence that culminates in our sister island Haiti becoming the first Black Republic and empire. There was Emperor Dessalines in the Western Hemisphere. The giant priest, revolutionary spiritualist, in addressing his gathering, a multi-ethnic gathering of free people, you know. Because whether or not the system was slaving, who was there wasn't slaves. Bookman says, the creator who created the sun, which gives us light, who rouses these waves and who rules this storm, though hidden in the clouds, he watches us. He sees all that the white man does. The God of the white man inspires him with crime. Like chatting when you listen. But our Creator, who is good to us, inspires us to do good works. He directs us to avenge our wrongs. He will guide our arms and aid us. Then, according to C.L.R. James, exemplary Caribbean historian out of Trinidad, C.L.R. James says, Bookman then points to the European crucifix that adorns the neck of slaves who have infiltrated his gathering of freedom fighters, and says, throw away the image of the God of those whites who thirsts for our tears, who thirst for our tears. I repeat, throw away the image of the God of the whites who thirst for our tears and listen to the voice of freedom which beats in our one heart. One heart. One heart.
You know, everyone. It seems as if the little walk from the square down to this place got everybody tired. Good afternoon. I think I'm very, very much excited. I cannot remember the last time I walked this type of jungle. Even back in Nigeria, I never had this experience. It's a lovely experience. And I must tell you, I have had a lot of a dialogue, or should I call it a debate, with many of my colleagues in academics about Jamaica using ecotourism or our eco attraction to reshape the tourism industry. Many say that Jamaica don't do ecotourism. That is crappy. Now look at the view behind me here. I don't think, I don't know where you go, where else you go, and you find this type of view. This is breathtaking, lovely. And the fact also remains that ecotourism can coexist with other activities like agriculture. And I can see this. This is a very fertile land, isn't it? We grow yam, grow coffee, grow cassava, grow anything you can think of. So it can both cohabitate. In fact, I won't be speaking about tourism this afternoon. I'm asked to bring greetings on behalf of the Nigerians in Jamaica. We have associated with Mr. Kerr now over 10 years, if I should put it that way. In fact, when we started our fundraising activity using a barbecue program some 12 years ago, I think that was heavily promoted by Mr. Kerr. The first fashion show that we had was put on by Mr. Kerr. And with a lot of work that this man is doing in the jungle, when I look at this, I said to myself, coming up here, that my next academic paper is going to be on Bangarage. I'm going to title that academic paper, Bangarage. I have just finished editing a journal. In fact, if this had happened, say 2 months ago, there should have been a paper in that journal titled Bangarage. Promise, Mr. Carl, look out for this. And I'm going to be doing some interviews. I never had that intention. But when I saw what should I say, call it experience, not much experience as yet, because I still want to go further in the jungle. This is a breathtaking experience. I want to do a paper on Bangarage. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know time is against us. I'm not asked to give a speech, but to bring greetings. So, on behalf of the embassy in Kingston and the other members of the committees of Nigerians and the big association in Jamaica, I bring greetings from the bottom of our heart. Thank you very much. I'm here to enjoy the afternoon with you, and I will stay with you till the end of the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ayaguna. And I pronounced it right? All right. So great words there. And as I mentioned earlier, we will continue our literary libations by taking a poem from Lenworth Burke.
Hello, friends. I don't think I've ever read against a more magnificent backdrop than the mountains behind me. The poem I'm going to read for you, I wrote about 2.5 years ago, and it's appropriate for reading here for 2 reasons. One, it in fact deals with this part of the world, and it's part of a longer poem which mentions places like Spring Hill and Tranquility and Buff Bay and the whole river gorge leading down to Buff Bay. What I'm going to read is a very short excerpt, and it's entitled Rastaman Rant. The longer poem is about revolution, And the Rastaman rant here is simply a Rastaman who says he's from Charlestown, just down the road, speaking about the ills in the Jamaican society. Rastaman rant. I am a Rasta Maroon from Charlestown who chanting to bring this Babylon down. Most of the leaders just incompetent, and in economics them have no sense. We trapped for too long in financial woes, and though recently them kindly impose a gentler IMF into a bed, we still getting screwed, but gently instead. The political gangs in Garden House suck our poor people blood like crab louse, lick them finger from all kind of racket, and put the money in them back pocket. Them so busy eating out of the trough that the important business get put off. The government fatten, them party friend, the opposition wait, them turn again. We stop go forward, we reverse in time, and real debate displaced by pantomime. And the little man have to stand and watch, the cabinet captured to cast and catch, fishy sweetheart contracts for dons back home, sucking the patrimony to the bone. And to dismantle our homegrown don, we have to rely on my Uncle Sam. How come we brand name Jamaica so great, but so much of our leaders second rate? We're complacent and choose to close our eyes, or we lack the courage to criticize. And even when we find hard evidence of them involvement in crime and violence, we still put honorable to them name and are shocked to find them don't feel shame. Them teach them youth groups corrupt politics from them manifesto of dirty tricks. But how long can they camouflage the truth and deny corrupting the nation's youth? Some have brooded for years to incubate widespread crime and violence within the state, illegally bringing in from abroad weapons and ammunition to a yard, so each dirty drunkard could hatch the plan to push a gun in a juvenile hand and turn Jamaica into a crime scene by murdering him fellow human being. How come we Jamaicans, among the best, but most of the leaders can't pass the test? As for social progress, we stop make stride. Some people relegated to the side. It's only Brownings make up the who is who. No black man on the Observer page 2. The whole country is in one awful mess. The light has gone out, we in the darkness. But to struggle through worse and still alive, now hardened by fire, we will survive. Every man, woman, the old and the youth should stand up and give the people salute. And in order to resolve the situation, begin with words and chant the solution. Light up the fire and turn on the light. Enough is enough. We're ready to fight. Come fire our heart with love for the land. Fire every thief and every gunman. Fire the Don and the extortion gang. Fire all wicked cowboy Babylon. Fire every worthless politician.
Mistaken, those are by Trebor. Some very interesting poems there. Oh, those are from Lenny Merck, right? Wow, so he's a poet. So those were his own poems he was reading. Very interesting, right? All right. Earlier we mentioned the Knowledge Center project, which is also an initiative of the Blue Mountain Retreat Range. And now we'll have Mr. Neville Parks to give us a brief overview of what this center will be about.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you hear, I am Mr. Neville Parks. I'm Public Relations Officer for the Bangaree Citizens Association. And I am proud to stand here this afternoon in front of this beautiful audience to tell you a little bit about our Citizen Association. Right now we are a little bit stagnant because we are in a position where we need to function more effectively. And then we have a a building that is unfinished, and we need to operate inside of that building because of lack of funding, then we cannot get to operate the way we want to. So this evening we would really appreciate what you people can do for us in order for us to move forward. We appreciate Mr. Carr so much. He has been working with us over the years, and then we appreciate this move that he has made for us to move forward. And so I know that for your cooperation and your contribution towards this, then we will move in the right direction. And I know that what you contribute to this, then you will not ashamed. And the next time you come here, then you will see the fruit of all your labor. God bless you.
And Neville was making an appeal earlier, so as you look, you'll see this collection plate, or whatever you call it, going around. And I know some of you may not have any little thing you can give towards the initiative, but you may not have any cash or that sort of thing with you now. So we also have some commitment slips, and we'll have Rakisha Miller and Shanae Beckford just moving around throughout, and you can give towards this very worthy cause. I were Prime Minister, Redemption Song would be our national anthem, a tune everybody could sing to the very end. Independence would be more than holidays, floats and parades. Instead, a time for reflection on the progress made. If I were Prime Minister, you would never rob me in the street, and I pay for your food and upkeep. Prisoners would work to build the nation. Incarceration would be no paid vacation. If I were the Prime Minister, I would change my title to make it more relevant. From the right most honorable to your humble servant. If I were Prime Minister, I would do something positive. There would be no more member of parliament or party, but instead citizens' representative. I would change the constitution and end the two hostile tribes, you know the rest, and put a non-party system to the test. If I were the Prime Minister, education would be for liberation, using knowledge to build our nation. A computer for each child and internet in every school. Students would learn about the works of Garvey, the life of Mandela, and the application of the Golden Rule. If I were Prime Minister, instead of talking about man have more gal car on cell phone and beating my chest, I would pass laws to make sure mothers and children get the best. Deadbeat fathers would be a thing of the past. With new laws, they would have to step up, pay up, or reach prison fast. If I were the Prime Minister, no matter who, Wang Tang or land, and our heritage is what we have built our economy on, I would have a popular national development plan that would not include the sale of any goat or island. If you were the Prime Minister, what would you do? All right. Another poem. Lenward, you did both of your poems, I think, right? All right, so I will read another poem for you, and then we will wrap up this section by the same person, Trebor. Glass ceiling and more. Hard see because it's a mirror showing us what we are not the potential we have got to be who we can be. So, 1 second. All right, so just to start over, glass ceiling. Glass ceiling and more. Hard see because it's a mirror showing us what we are not the potential we have got to be who we can be. The reflection only of hostile tribes perpetually and continually at war, so we will never get far. Cast your vote in the carnival of deception. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Jeeps, beep, 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 hung, hung. Can you hear me now? Good cell phone reception. More gallant party. Rolling in on 22 inches of vanity. As the cost of dying goes down, shut your mouth. Don't complain as you agree to play the swapping game. But we have a choice. Throw the black dog and monkey out the house. This ain't no zoo. Interesting. All right. So a bit there from our literary libation section. And as we started late, we'll have a little break now, and then we will flow into the secondary part of our program.
I don't like the voice. So can you hear me like this? Yes. I like to talk like this. Thank you. No, I like this stage give me a nice view of where not to fall, okay? All right, music man, give me some music up, please. I'm going to do some steps and see if I can just demonstrate and tell you a little about the steps as we go along. Music. That is not it, you hear? Number one, the first music you're going to see this here. Music thing, we show you about the instrument that used for dancing. These are the drums. There are a lot of instruments used in dance right now. Drums, everything. But before, it's just drums and voices and just a little bit of instrument. Sir, can you move on to track 6? Not like dancer, don't it? But me I show it, right? Alright. Alright, let me tell you something. Steps like that. Steps like that. It's more like a little dinky mini. A little dinky mini thing. All of that movement. But you're going to see where this movement come back again. Way down the line. Rock the next tune, Mr. Music Man. In Music Man now work with me, I enjoy the program too much. Now, Brookings. I want to penetrate where the music coming from, you know. Have a little Brookings, little dinky mini. First time it was, the name of dance used to mean something. Dinky mini, Brookings, all celebratory dance from West Africa. And as we move down, we have a next one that is called Jankunu. Next CD, sir. Anybody remember about Jankunu? You remember Jankunu? Always out in the holiday season, especially Christmas. Look good enough. Watch. All right. The music moved on. Where Jamaican music is coming from now? From all these drums, 5 flutes. We move into where Jamaican music really made an impact on the international world. Next CD, please. What kind of music is this?
Yeah.
Come here, opinion. It's not only sky, you know. That is when the male attempt to approach the female. So, we tend to use ska to kind of show off a bit, where the male and the female try to show what they have. But those were the days when everybody was just enjoying themselves. We move on to another ska music. This is all right. This is how we start to get reckless. Oof. And we enjoy ourselves a bit, but look. Not that one. You know how the fun starts and what happened in the dance hall, why there's this big gap right now. When we have these music before, everything was just fun, people enjoy themselves, male and female, dinky mini, they hold on to each other. There's a lot of love happening in the dance hall. But today, we start having groups singing about what affects them in their environment. Music, sir. So you have a thing called Rock Steady. So it's an individual thing still, you know. Our bounce easy. The dance hall is still calm, you know. Not much in the dance hall, just pure love. Everybody bouncing. You have one or two of the dancers, them still move around. And as they move on, we play the next track. I see him start preaching. Turn down for me. Let him start free. Yeah. So a boy think he can come test me. Make him go with his little foolishness. Cause me are the baddest man on ya. Them start do a DJ thing now to match the rhythm. But you don't know. What's happening with him is that them call him like a iron balloon. Iron balloon is the artist who can't bust. He sing like 100 songs and he still can't bust. So right now a song like this come up, and you have like about 50 artists that sing on the song. On this rhythm alone, you know, you have like 50 different artists. So you find that the music now start to lose its core value in the marketplace as to how much record people are buying. Because what that means is that when a tourist hear the song, like this rhythm, I have like 30 more man on the same rhythm, it's as if they're buying the same record. So they start to buy artists now. So you have like a Vibes Cartel, a Beanie Man, so they start buying. A man like me, you know, who don't know the thing and just come in it now, me now go bust. Now just be iron balloon. So we can't bust. Play the next track to me, now move down, man. We soon get out of the rail, man. So you have the one there, you have one drop. One. Now make sure you know them start talking and dancing now. Hold on the tune. Them start talking and dancing now. Say listen, you have a thing named One Drop. No, I'm not a female dancer because the dance is a woman dance really. Because right now the dance hall is separated. Man yes so, woman there so. We right there so. So every time, play the tune again. Play the One Drop again. The man them stays up. Bomba! So what so let me tell you something now. So you find that the old dance come back now. Play that tune again. In a dinky me have a little. most Jamaicans, they don't know what to do with the dance. Because today dance have too much instructions. Alright, bring on the plate. Roll the boat. Log on. Step on tissue man. The amount of instructions. Tell a girl for break. Box a boy. Kick a boy. You find that it is so aggressive now. They go dance on. You have a bottle of beer and you walk near dance. And you just brush them out. Yo, what you do? Let's do some class. What you do? Sorry, so smart. Move. Whole parties are one. Next music. And the music gets very dirty. This is a song, you know. It's a careful. Turn it up and start over. Run the track. First time, Robert, you know. But I just go alone do it now. And the man them there also. And the woman them. That's all they do. Believe you, if you go dancer today, me and I go fit in. We won't fit in because our dance are like this. We go dance 10 o'clock. You go dance 10 o'clock today, tonight. Are you alone there? Because people start come dance till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock when me want to stay. You can imagine? So you find that them two, you know, them all have same in the dance. And the man them. And when the sun done, you know, my girl never want you. Oh, go on and dance now. Mr. Sanger. What are they? The man starts say, him not go deal with the girl because it's not healthy. Why not healthy? Not only HIV, him a deal with healthy food and she a deal with junk food. So you have the diet start coming out now. So the man starts singing about him diet. But it has some little connotation behind, some little pun behind the word. My girl, they are deal with it, but it's not healthy. For more than one reason. Probably that you can boom bang better than me. But I don't know. Play the tune again. So you find that music come right back down to Rocksteady. We got right back to. So you find that even the clothes we wear, everything changed. Hold on the music, man. Back then, we had those cap. You have on a gun mode pants. A very tight pants. That's what you got on it.